You're such an asshole.
AssholeConsulting.com. Go there if you have questions, and I, America's older brother, will help you out, even if you're in a foreign country. As long as your check doesn't bounce, I don't care. Hello, Mr. Clary. I'm a huge fan of yours, and I'm in need of some advice. I'm a 26-year-old married woman working in an office. I am one of the better employees. I'm going to keep this as anonymous as possible. One of the better employees in my department, and my boss consistently compliments my performance and work ethic. I've been promoted twice in the last 12 months, and have been with the company for some time. A few months back, I was promoted to another position with much greater earning potential recognition by upper management. I'm very close with the people on my very small team, and I generally don't have any problems with anyone. We all chit-chat from time to time, laugh, and always get our work done. Recently, 4 broads, she doesn't say broads, I said broads, who sit near our team, who are in a lower position in the company, have made it their life's mission to hang out near our area and find something to tattle to our supervisor about on a daily basis. Their complaints are always baseless. They have complained that we are talking to each other, that we are laughing, and therefore have too much downtime. They complain that we are snarky towards them even if we haven't interacted with them. One day I was having a conversation on break with a male coworker about working out, and one of them overheard and complained that we were being that we could be promoting negative body. What? One day I was having a conversation on break with a male coworker about working out, and one of them overheard and complained that we could be promoting negative body image. Okay, so these are millennial cunts. That's what they are. And maybe they're not even millennials, but they believe the social justice warrior I'm constantly. They're looking to be offended. So these are evil people. That's what you're dealing with. You need to assess this right. They are evil. They're looking to be offended. They're looking to cause drama because they don't want to work hard. That's the last thing they want to do. While my supervisor seems to indicate he thinks I'm a great employee, every time he gets an arbitrary complaint, he sends the 6 of us an email. We are never told who complained or what the exact incident was. Usually something along the lines of, good morning, we got a complaint yesterday. Please make sure we are all being positive and nice to blah, blah, blah. Okay. This happens almost daily, and I feel like we are being harassed and made to feel like we can't be comfortable at work anymore because these women have some kind of vendetta. I'm wondering if you're just hotter. Like, I don't know if your team has all women, but I'm wondering if, like, the girls that are in your team are just hotter than them, because the concept that they would be bitching about negative body image, just, I'm picturing fat social justice warrior sows. I promise I'm not trying to ramble. Fast forward, I sent my supervisor and his assistant an email on Thursday after one of these incidents. I made sure it was very professional advice, that I understand the importance of maintaining a professional work environment. And while I want to be respectful of everyone, but team morale is a bit low due to the number of pointed, baseless complaints that we are getting by these individuals, and that I feel that if there is an issue, we should be made aware of the exact details of the incident, and those specific individuals involved should be able to address it. You may tell me that was a mistake, and I know I should have gotten your advice sooner. My supervisor is away. Meet with me soon as she gets back. Any advice on how I should handle this going forward would be appreciated, especially advice on how to handle my meeting that I will inevitably have with my supervisor. Thanks, and I won't mention your name. Okay. Then I asked you a couple other questions that, do you really need the job and all this other stuff. Here is, you did fine. You can't just let this go unanswered. And you sent a polite, professional email about it. What I would also do is bring in the rest of your team members and have them explain what's going on. Because what you need right now is a heart-to-heart, a come-to-Jesus talk with your supervisor. And it has to be established that you guys are doing nothing. They are slowing down your work and affecting morale, as you said before. And that if there's a way to just not be around these girls, like move your offices, go somewhere else, and not deal with these girls, then the problems would go away. Okay? But then also, this is just me, is you gotta, not now, don't do it now, but if this doesn't solve itself and the problem doesn't end, then you're gonna go in and file a complaint. This is where it gets a little bit tricky because of corporate America. You could be in the right. These could be the most evil, bitchy, social justice warrior, constantly looking to get offended, evil women out there possible, right? But in the realm of corporate America, it doesn't matter. Conformity and not rocking the boat is more important to most environments. And I don't know your boss personally. I don't know what she's like. I don't know what her boss is like. So there's no way to tell. I can tell you this, though, is that it is much better to be arguing from a position of power than it is not. And to do that, it's always good to have another job offer. Now, you really like this job. You seem to do well here. You're getting promoted. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. Hopefully you can go in as you are now and being honest and forthright and saying, look, we're not bothering these people. I don't know why they're doing it. I don't care why they're doing it. But the accusations are foundless and baseless. And then hopefully, again, if bringing in other people from your team, your boss will say, oh, okay, and hopefully she'll understand. If she doesn't, then you're going to have to go in and say, no, you don't understand. This is BS. Don't use these words, but we are the good guys here. You got to let them know, like, we are the good guys. They are coming up with false lies, false accusations, and I want to know what they are because, one, we have every right to know what these accusations are, and then two, if we're going to solve these problems, we need to know what we're getting accused of. Right? If that doesn't work, here's what you have to realize is that your boss is not that good of a boss. She's not that good. And this is maybe not a company that you should be working in if they cannot crack down and realize chatty Cathys for what they are. So this is where, again, it helps to argue from a position of power and have another job offer lined up. And this is sadly what the real world is. I mean, there's a bunch of mandatory part-time jobs. For men, we go for our regular job, but then we also have to hit the gym to stay in shape for the girls. And then also we're always looking for another job too. Women is the same thing. You have to hit the gym if you want to attract good-looking guys. And you always have to have your feelers out there for another job so that if your company or boss or whatever, the environment becomes unacceptable, you can simply say, bye, and you leave and go work for the competition or whoever else you get to work for. There's always a plan B. Because if all you have is a plan A and you don't have a plan B or a backup, you are in a horrible position of no power. You are helpless. You are at their whim. You need that money to make ends meet. And so it's almost a mandatory thing that you go and you're constantly interviewing for another job, like keeping your feelers out there. And it's hard because you don't know when you're going to quit or when you're going to get fired. So having a job backed up so you can either bluff your boss or tell your boss, no, I'm sorry, here are the standards and here's what it's going to be. And if not, I have an offer from the XYZ company. It's hard to get that timing right. So you have to constantly be interviewing and looking. But it just, in the handful of times that I always had another job offer waiting, which was rare, I more had other side gigs and entrepreneurial things going on, that if the environment became unacceptable, I could tell them to fuck off and die and I was leaving. And I could debate and argue and insist on more. But you can't do that if you have no plan B. Now, you do have your husband. He can support the both of you. So you do already have this built-in plan B. All right? So that the worst thing that happens is you just give your 2 weeks notice, say thank you, I'm out of here. But it hasn't gotten to that point yet. All right? So what you can do is you can go into this meeting and you could just be honest. And and here's the other thing that I have found employers really buckle under is you demand respect. Not like, oh, give me respect because I exist, but you're going to be respected for the work you've put in, and you're going to be respected as a fellow human being, and you're not going to tolerate petty politics and office drama. You just don't, because otherwise I will go live and support my husband. My husband can make enough money, I'll go back and support him and tend the house and maybe go find myself another job. So when you go in, it's an escalation. We're at DEFCON 1 now. Hopefully you don't get to DEFCON 5, but DEFCON 5 is you put in your 2 weeks notice and you go help out your husband. DEFCON 1 is the meeting you're at now. You just tell them what's happening. You say, no, we're not doing it. Bring in your staff, have them tell them, and then say, okay, maybe a simple solution is we go somewhere else. DEFCON 2 or 3 is your boss says, well, let's just give it some more time because bosses usually don't want to deal with this type of stuff. They file another complaint. Your boss says, oh, we got another complaint, da-da-da, and the boss did not listen to you. She didn't listen to you this time. Then maybe you call a meeting with her and say, look, I just explained this. We didn't do anything. Now, can you please move us? This solution is not getting solved. DEFCON 4 is kind of like the last chance you give your employer, because if this happens again, they have a false complaint, and your employer, your boss, doesn't side with you on this one, that's where you go in and say, I'm going to explain this very clearly to you. Here on my list of demands, right? And this needs to get solved, this needs to get solved, and this needs to get solved. And if it doesn't, I will give you my 2 weeks notice. And then DEFCON 5 is they fire you because you gave them a chance to fire you. They don't listen. But I have found it's surprising how much abuse you can give your bosses. Like when you're like slapping them across the face to say, listen, you motherfucker, and you're done with the bullshit. They're like, huh? Oh, I didn't know. Oh, okay. It's amazing just what cowering little simps they become. Again, no guarantee they could fire you on the spot. But again, you have your plan B. But for those of you out there who do not have the enviable position of a plan B, get one. Have some micro fuck you money. Look it up, micro fuck you money. Have a cash reserve. Have a side gig running. Have a job offer in the pocket. And then you just basically, I mean, try to be polite. But that DEFCON 4 is kind of like the more stern, heavy-handed, I'm going to explain this to you. And this is where you start telling your boss what you're going to have and what's going to happen, what they're going to do. And you're not even going to be nice. You know, you're going to be, I mean, polite, but firm. And you're going to say, they're a bunch of lying bitches. I got more important shit to do than deal with their fucking social justice warrior drama and antics. And if you can't get them under control, my team's going to suffer and the entire division's going to suffer. And then they'll be, and like I said, you may get fired, you may not, but it forces it to a head. Because right now, the situation is not acceptable. You're going to give your boss enough times, enough DEFCONs to solve this problem. But after the third time, if this is still going on, that's not acceptable. I mean, there's other things you could do, like just, you could film, like have everybody record, you know, MP3s, have your cameras, and say, you know, okay, what time did that occur? Whose office did that happen in? And then you go get the video and say, is this what you're talking about? Is this what you're talking about? That's another way to do it. Have every conversation recorded. Have a webcam recording the entire time to a separate laptop. Even putting one in and recording it. They say, what's that? I say, that's a webcam. Well, why do you have a webcam? I'm recording my entire work days and backing them up so that when another complaint comes from the little group of, you know, harlots, that I can then show you that they're lying, and then I never have to deal with this again. And that might be a little whoa. But yeah, in general, you stand up for yourself. You just stand up for yourself, and you keep. It's just like finding, you know, someone you're going to marry or live with the rest of your life with. You keep dating, and you're not going to. Okay, fine, bye. This is how it's going to be. Nope, that's unacceptable. You do not tolerate unacceptable behavior from anyone, no matter what relation it is. School, work, family, home, what, you don't deal with it. But you always have to have a place to make money when it comes to dealing with employers. So anyway, hope that helps out. It's not the touchy-feely, it's not what the HR people are going to say. But yeah, you didn't do anything wrong as long as the email was scripted. But remember, you don't want to be worried about losing your job. You want to be worried about tolerating this bullshit and then losing your job anyway. That's really what you got, because they don't realize these girls are evil and chatty Cathys. And then you didn't stand up for yourself and you had no pride. So I always am very proud of the pounds of flesh I got out of former employers where I've read them the Riot Act. Ironically, never getting fired. That's why I'm kind of, I think they're that stupid. I think they just don't believe that an employee is going to get in their face and read them the Riot Act. They just don't expect it. So, anyway, hope that helped out. You guys got questions, go to assholeconsulting.com. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.